Good morning, everyone. Happy Tuesday. Oh, I just realized I'm really curly today, Megan.
I know, I like it.
And we match. So, welcome to Money Talk Tuesday. I'm really excited for today because we're talking about just overall how many things really have to be in place to run a profitable business.
Absolutely. It's amazing how many times people start a business because they're good at a thing or they want to try doing a thing and they'll just say, I'm gonna do this thing for this person because I wanna. Like, how much should I charge? I don't know. This sounds good enough, close enough, right? And
Yes.
so like businesses are started backwards. So you don't know if that thing is profitable and you might be like, oh, it's the first one, I'm just testing it. Oh, what about the second one?
Right.
And the third one, at what point do you're like, hang on a second, wait. Let's go back and get some foundational stuff taken care of.
And you know what? And this is to me the biggest issue when someone comes to me for business coaching, they think, oh, I only need to learn this one thing. But then when I really start to look at their entire business, I'm like, okay, let's go back to an infographic that I created years ago for my own business, which was the profit puzzle. Like, what pieces of the puzzle have to be correct and have ongoing work done on them in order to continue to be profitable all the time?
You mean it's not
And
just marketing all the time?
it's not just marketing all the time. Although you should be marketing, absolutely. But and I do, when someone has no pipeline, I'm like, okay, you're spending way too much time on your process in the background, getting ready to be perfect before you market yourself. So I do try to make sure everyone's working on their marketing, but also their foundational pieces at the same time. So you've worked with my clients who have done my lessons that are behind my profit puzzle that I created a very long time ago. As a matter of fact, I think in my group, the Interior Design Business Forum, it's in the files section, a picture of my profit puzzle. So it basically talks about your foundational pieces, right? Create a business plan, not the kind you're going to go get a loan for, but the kind that you need to follow when you're creating your own business, and go back and readjust it every 6 months to make sure you're on target. And then identifying your ideal client and your signature message, and how every single one of your service models has to be profitable. Because you just said it. I can't tell you how many people go, but I just want to work with this person. Should I lower my prices? And I'm like, is it profitable for you in the end? No, probably not. I'm like, are you going to end up resentful? Probably, right?
Yeah.
It's like, how many people do you see, just like you said, throw prices out there and don't really understand why they're pricing it the way they're pricing it?
Oh, all the time. All the time. I mean, even businesses, it's not even just new businesses. I'm currently working with a developer company, who's been in business for years, and it's enough to get by, right? They've always had enough to get by, but never be um flourishing. Like they
Yes.
want to be flourishing. And so they're like, well, I should be making more money. Yeah, you should. Your pricing model is way off.
Right,
Look,
because there's all kinds of guilt over charging your
yeah.
worth
If
and
we
what
can cover
people.
$100,000 a month, then we're good. Well, no, it's enough. It's just enough.
Yes, and I see that all the time too. Well, it's a big job and I'm going to be making $20,000 on it. I'm like, okay, but $20,000 divided by, how many hours? 200 hours? How many months? A year? Like you can't just look at a job and go, that's the way I want to price it. You have to understand how to price it for profitability. Plus, how you run your company, right? What are you spending on? What are you not spending on? How are you growing? What staffing are you bringing on? All these components, how are you paying a web designer? Are you paying them for the right things? Or an
Mhm.
SEO person, right? All these decisions contribute to your profitability. And that, I think, in a nutshell, which I didn't even plan on saying that way, help is what my profit formula is all about. It's helping you make decisions, and my membership site and my coaching, helping you make decisions that contribute to turning you into a consistently profitable business.
Right. There's no point in going to get more clients if you can't service those clients with a profit.
Right.
You're just working your fingers to the bone. And you'll
Right.
be like, why do I have no time and no money?
Right. And how come I can't grow my business? How come I can't hire someone to help me? How come I'm always overwhelmed? It's because you're not setting yourself up for profitability in every single job that you do. So you're a sub coach in my organization. I gift clients to you when they get to a certain level when they're working with me one on one. You actually have an extra training in my membership site teaching them about how to track their money properly so they get a better idea of whether they're profitable. What would you say about the clients who are actually following the profit puzzle that I'll be teaching on this webinar that I'm doing two of them?
I love getting clients from you. I love it because what I do, like you've seen the welcome email. I send them, I'm like, hi, can I have your last 2 years financial statements? And I walk them through how to get it, whatever. And they'll send me like 2020 and 2019. In 2019, will be like this itty bitty struggling, getting by number. In 2020, I'll be like, she did it again. It,
And I love watching those videos because you're like, oh my God. Yeah. I mean, I have this incredible desire that everyone should be profitable as they can be in their business while still being an ethical, great service model for their clients, never, trying to sell something to somebody that they don't need or that they don't want, and that it's client focused, but it's also making you the money you deserve for the amount of time you put in.
right. They go from this scattered, I'll take what I can get. Or even if they are working in their little niche, they're too like they also know what's coming down the pipeline. They know what's
Right.
coming in the next 3 months. There's no like, now what? I'm scrambling all the time. There's a system behind it. There's a piece.
Right. There's the pieces of the puzzle have to be put together. So when we teach them to set aside profit in their profit account, there's actually money to be going into the profit account
Right.
because they've worked on all these other things. So if we were to give to there's so many tips to give every week, but 3 tips would be, I know one of my tips would be, one, making sure every single job you quote is profitable. And I'm even going to put another tip in there, and saying no to the jobs that the client is trying to get you to reduce your cost, your fees, without reducing the scope.
Yeah. I mean, and ultimately, at the end of that project, you probably aren't going to be getting along with them anyway.
Absolutely. Absolutely. The burnout that people feel because they're not pricing properly, the resentment they feel because they're not pricing profitably or that their entire business is not profitable. And then just the fact that they're taking away from their families to run this business that they're so passionate about, and yet they're not pulling the money they want to pull out of it. It's just so sad to me. Yeah. So, all right. So Money Talk Tuesday today is about how really I want you to attend the webinar that I'm putting off, the Profit Puzzle webinar, where I can teach you the lessons you need to understand, the pieces of the puzzle that you need to have in place in order to run a profitable business. So we're actually up, we're capping each of the webinars at 50, and we're up to, last I checked, which was like an hour ago, we're up to 44 on one webinar and the other one's at like 30. So if you haven't signed up yet, sign up for the webinar so I can teach you the pieces you need to run a profitable business. The ones that Megan has seen my clients put into place time and time again, and the result being
Profit.
profit.
Now what do I do with my money? Can I get a raise? Can I hire?
Get a raise.
What do I do with my personal finances? Yeah, that's what they
Yeah.
do. That's their questions. Could you imagine what it would be like in your business if instead of asking like, where is my next client coming from? Your question was, okay, this is great. Now, how do I hire help? How do I give myself a raise? How do I, reinvest this money or do I save it? What do I do with my cash?
Right. Do I save for my retirement? Do I take the family on a trip? Do I take Fridays off for the rest of my life? Because Monday through Thursday, I'm making enough money that I don't need to work Fridays anymore unless, it's a extenuating circumstances, right?
Yeah.
I don't want people, if you have a hobby as a business owner and it's a side gig, more power to you, right? Enjoy it if that's what you want. But if you're in business to run a business and to make a profit, then attend the webinar because I want you to get the knowledge you need to run a profitable business every single time. Love it. All right. That is Money Talk Tuesday, quick and in and out. I am rolling out exciting things during the webinar also, only to those who attend. So if you want access to those special things, which I'm not going to tell you about yet, I will do it on the webinar. Please register and attend. So thank you, Megan, for always being a coach in my organization and helping my clients figure out how to read their financials so they understand how this profit they're now making can be used and understood, because that's still the piece that once they're making money, they have to understand how to outsort their money and do it right.
Yes. Yes.
And do the bookkeeping. So, all right, we will see you next week on Money Talk Tuesday and tomorrow for Website Wednesday. Okay, bye everyone. Have a great day. Bye.